some people might think that I'm lucky, but the harder that I work, the luckier I got. There was a lot of hard work that went into this, and a lot of learning. So I like to look at my progression, and I think this is true for most entrepreneurial lawyers. First, you have to start out, you have to be a good lawyer, all right? You have to know what you're talking about and how to handle the cases. The next skill is how to be good with clients. And that's completely different than being a good lawyer. I know some lawyers who are fantastic with clients that, boy, I wouldn't trust them, with a misdemeanor case. But learning the law, learning how to be good with clients. The next step in the progression is learning how to operate a business. First just a mom and pop shop, and gradually it grows, and all the things that go into running a business, and now a multi-state corporation. And the next step that really turbocharged my growth was learning about marketing. Right. And these are all things they don't teach you in law school. So I really dove into all the different types of marketing, whether it's digital or traditional. And I had a very large client base, which we tap into and remarket. And then finally, where I am now, the top of the pyramid, so to speak, is building a law firm on culture and having it sustain and continue and to grow, and have people who love what they do, are passionate for our clients. And that's once again a whole different skill set. So that's the progression that I went through, and I think that any lawyer that wants to grow a successful law firm probably has to follow those steps.
I think that's really impressive, because you sort of start as a practitioner, and I think a lot of people aren't able to make that transition to thinking more like a business owner, a CEO, and thinking about all the other things they need to do. I'm curious, in that journey, especially when it sounded like there's one sort of maybe pivotal moment where you really started thinking about marketing more. Is there any other turning point, or one turning point where you realize, wait, I gotta stop thinking like a good lawyer and start thinking like a business owner? Or is there anything that happened in the business that helped you turn that corner that I see so many other firms just kind of not able to turn? They're kind of stuck in their business.
Yeah, absolutely. You need to learn how to hire people and to train them and retain them. And listen, I've made a lot of mistakes over the years, and I learned a lot about hiring people. And I've got a fantastic team now. But my C-suite team, my higher level executive team, all really, really strong A players, and that's not by accident. So most people just put a job posting out there, small personal injury law firm in search of XYZ, needs to be a self-starter, and blah, 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 blah. And then they interview 2 or 3 people, and whoever aces the interview, they hire, and then they're stuck with them. So we spend a lot of time recruiting, making sure we're getting the right candidates, interviewing them, putting them through a lot of testing, make sure that they're a fit for us culturally. We want somebody that's going to be happy within our firm. It doesn't work for everybody. We are not the right place for some people. But when you really put a lot of energy into the hiring process and then training, okay, it's all well and good to hire a superstar and put them down in front of a computer, and they'll look at you and say, okay, what am I supposed to do? Because every law firm does things a little bit differently. So you've got to go through a training process. As we've grown, and we're a large firm now, we have an in-house full-time trainer. So every time we hire people, we have a trainer that walks them through a very, very specific process for each of the positions. Now, that's not something that you do when you're a smaller firm, but that's the way you need to think. So if I had to point to one thing, is hiring the right people over the years, and that's it can't be all me at this point, and having a fantastic team that surrounds me is really been responsible for a lot of our success.